officer-involved shootings in Long Beach.
Right.
Is that a perception or a misperception that you have a disproportionate number?
Yeah, great question. There's a lot of talk, and my opponents are using that talk all the time about the number of officer-involved shootings in Long Beach. And last year we had, last year we had an inordinate number compared to other years, a big uptick. When you look at them, they're talking about 22 shootings because of the way we report shootings. Accidental discharges, animal shootings like a pit bull. We had 4, I think, animal shootings, 3 accidental discharges, and 4 no-hit shootings. So when you take it out, we actually had 11 shootings last year. Of those shootings, in almost every case, the suspect either shot at the police or pointed a gun at the police. And so when you look at it, it's the nature of the business. We have a response time in Long Beach because we have 1 officer per car. I'll get to that piece that when you look at the officer to population ratio around the country, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston have a ratio of about 4 officers to 4.5 officers per 1,000 population. We're very lean on the West Coast. LAPD has 2.5, Long Beach has 1.7. So as a result, we put 1 officer in each car, even in areas that we think we should have 2 officers, in order to be able to get the response time down. So as a result, we have some of the best response time in the nation. We have a 4.5-minute response time to an emergency call for service. The average nationwide is 11 minutes. And so they get there quick, but when they get there, there's 1 officer, so a suspect is likely to still be at the scene and likely to want to take on the 1 officer where they may not take on 2. So there's other factors that weigh in on that. But every shooting we have, we put in place in Long Beach when I went there, a 72-hour briefing where we dissect the shooting from the time the first call comes in, what the dispatcher did, what the broadcast sounded like, how much information was obtained, how much was put out, what did the officer know, what tactics did they use, what alternatives did they use, what other resources did they get there, the actual use of force, and then what did they do after that. Did they get medical treatment for the person that was shot, if that was the case? Did they cordon off the area? Did they get witnesses? Did they lock down everything we need them to do? So every case is analyzed, and every officer knows how closely we look at each one and judge them on the shooting. And that's something they live with for the rest of their life. And then looking at last year, with that number I mentioned, we've only had 1 this year. And so you have ups and downs over the years, and last year was a high year. This year is thankfully, knock on wood, a low year and will be. But we take them very, very seriously. In each shooting where there's a hit, the district attorney's office rolls out a team, their own investigators, who do a separate and independent investigation. If there's a death, the coroner also rolls out their team to be able to do their own independent investigation for manner and cause of death as well. So in looking at that, we always look to less lethal options for force when we can at all. But we have had experiences where that's not an option or not a viable option at the time. So I hope that answers that concern.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Got a budget question